welcome back to my channel. So today I have another story time for you guys, but before we get into that, today's glamour shot of the day is Miss Mumbai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, girl. I'm so sorry. But she's one of my beautiful glamazons. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. So go show my girl some love. Now let's get into the video. So this story takes place when I was working at a bar, the same bar that I was at when I fought David's ex-girlfriend. If you have not seen that video, I will leave a link to it right here. You can click on this if you are on a laptop. If not, I will leave it down in the description box below. I was working at this bar, but before that, I actually was working at an oil and gas company here as an administrative assistant, and super cushy fucking job. We were downtown, like literally in the heart of downtown, in this huge, beautiful, high-rise building. We had floor-to-ceiling glass windows. Like, it was such a fucking cushy job. So much so that the CEO would provide sparkling water, coconut water, and all of these Starbucks like K-cups and stuff for all of us, okay? Plus, it was a gym, like an actual gym inside of this huge building, and so our CEO decided to pay for all of our monthly memberships, also pay for some exclusive fitness classes that we could participate in as well. So needless to say, this was a really, really cushy job. So I was pretty happy there. I was an administrative assistant, and as an admin, you pretty much help out every single department as much as you can. You work on projects and scheduling and stuff like that. I was also in charge of ordering, so I would order all of our office supplies and all of our like food and drink in the office. I would order that on a weekly basis. Being an admin is a lot of hard work, but it can be really rewarding. Part of the reward is that I got to know pretty much every single fucking person in the company, and you meet so many cool people. There was this one guy, we'll call him John. And John was pretty high up in the company, so he was an executive and very quiet, okay? And he was probably in his 30s. He was very well established for being so young, but he was so quiet, like quiet girl, like that awkward quiet, like that are you weird or are you just awkward kind of quiet, you know, y'all know. He was like kind of awkward, and every morning me and two other admins, you know, we would get the office ready pretty much, you know, make coffee, do stuff like that, and we would pretty much be the first ones there in the morning, so we would say good morning to every single person that would pass by. It was a really friendly environment. So we try to maintain that culture in the office of just being friendly and saying good morning, right? So we would say good morning to every single person. And every morning John would walk in, and he never dressed up like an executive. He like kind of dressed kind of frumpy, and he just was so fucking quiet. Like, we'd be like, good morning, John, and he would just kind of like either wave and then walk off, or just like give us like this little weird fucking nod and then walk off. So we didn't want to make him feel even more weird by trying to start a conversation with him. He obviously wasn't a talker. But I got to talk to John a little bit more often than the other admins, because one of my duties was to order supplies for the office. And our CEO was so frivolous with our budget that anything that a particular employee enjoyed, he would make it a point to provide you with X amount of number of those things that you liked per week, okay? He was that kind of CEO, super fucking sweet man. John loved Diet Cokes, and everybody knew this. Why everybody knew this? Because John decided to have a little mini fridge in his office, and it was full of fucking Diet Cokes, provided by the company, of course, but he had that thing packed at all times. So everyone knew John likes his fucking Diet Cokes, okay? Now, I would have to deliver the Diet Cokes, and I was also in charge of dispersing all of the supplies when they got delivered. So the soda would get there, it would be delivered, and there were X amount of actual cases that went straight to John. The CEO said you give him 5 cases and you put them directly in his office. Okay, cool. I do what I'm told, okay? So I would have to deliver once a week cases, okay, cases of Diet Coke to this man in his office. And I was in there once a week for honestly like 1 to 2 minutes tops, okay? Like, it was very quick conversation. Good morning, how are you doing this morning? Pretty busy, that type of shit, you know? And then I'd be like, okay, have a great day, peace out. Like, he was fucking awkward. So it was never any type of conversation that we had that was like more than 2 minutes long, and I didn't know him that well, and he definitely didn't know me that well. During this time, I really wanted to get a hold of my debt and start looking at my credit and, you know, being a responsible adult girl, you know, I'm trying. I am a very prideful person, and everything that I have, I fucking work for, and I'm proud of myself for that. So instead of asking anyone for help, my ass got a second job. So I did. I got me a second job at that bar that I mentioned in the other video. So I only worked there 3 nights a week, and it was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So the only work week or work night that I had to work was Thursday nights. I would, as you guys know from the other video, sometimes I wouldn't get home until around 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I would get up at like 6:30 to get ready for my full-time job. So it was really hard, and it was a really hard schedule to have, but your girl wanted that money, so I did what I had to do. I started working at this bar, and I was in training. And you know, they kind of teach you the lay of the land and where everything's stored, and you know who everyone is and that type of shit. And then you shadow a person for at least a week, and then they'll let you man a side of the bar by yourself. So I was in my training process. Training is a 2-week period altogether. I went through training, got through that, and then started working on my own. And everyone says you want to build up your clientele. It's like any other business. You want to build relationships with people so that when they come back into the bar, the only person that they want to serve you is you. So I was pretty adamant about being nice to everybody. So I was like really loud and very friendly, and like, you know, come over here and have a drink with me, let's take a shot. And you know, then I started building up my own group of people that knew me and would want to be served by me. Like I said in the other video, where I was at the bar, I could see the door. It was me and this other girl, we'll call her Brittany. She was this beautiful, like, blonde girl, freaking gorgeous, and she and I were manning this side of the bar, and I loved being paired with her because we would make so much fucking money, y'all don't even know. So tonight was one of those nights, and we were like, yes, we're gonna have a good night, we're gonna make so much money, right? So the night goes on, and then I'm like facing a different way than Brittany, and you know, we're just working, we're doing our thing behind the bar, and we're constantly reaching over each other and whatever. And you hear so many men's voices because they're all coming up to the bar, and you're having so many conversations at once, so you don't really pay attention to what's going on. But I kept hearing Brittany getting really fucking irritated, and she was like, okay, you can go now. Okay, can I get you anything else? And that's bartender code for, are you done? Can you get the fuck away now? So I kept hearing her say that, but I wasn't looking over. And then she came by me, and she opened up an ice drawer and was pulling out a beer, and she whispered, and she was like, this guy's a fucking douche. And I was like, who? And she said, this guy, John. And now John's a super typical fucking name, okay? And his name in real life is super fucking typical. So I was like, who? And so I turn around and look at the guy that she's pointing at, and it's John from my job, from my full-time job, the quiet one that likes Diet Coke, okay? So I'm placed in this predicament. I usually am extremely professional at work. I know where and when to be professional, and I'd like to think that I have a pretty good boundary between my professional life and my personal life. So I am extremely proper and professional when I am at my full-time job, and then I am Nikki when I'm not at my full-time job, and especially at a bar, okay? 2 very different environments. So I was placed in this weird predicament to either let him see me in this environment and quite possibly go back to work and tell the executives what I'm doing when I'm not in the office, or I try to go over there and have friendly conversation and see if he'll keep my secret. Let's see how this plays out. All of my brain power was just working to like, what the fuck am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? Like, how do you explain this? So while I was trying to think up something, he looked over and saw me, and he locked eyes with me like, bitch, I see you. And I was like, oh fuck. He smiled, okay? This guy never smiled, ever. He was just so fucking awkward, he never smiled. So I was like, what? Are you smiling at me? He comes, he gets up immediately, comes over to my side of the bar. So Brittany was like, he's your problem now. And I was like, oh fuck, man. He was like, hey, super fucking loud, completely different person than he was in the office. And I understand, I get it, because I'm a completely different person than I am in the office, but damn, like this was like a huge difference, okay? It's like kind of awkward at first because I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. I was like, who are you? He obviously had a few drinks, quite a few drinks, and what I did not know was that he was a regular at that bar. Brittany later on told me that he comes in quite a bit, and because I had just started, I guess I really never noticed, or he had not come while I was training, so I never saw him. I was not aware of this. But every single bartender knew who he was. He was there so fucking often. So I was like, this is blowing my fucking mind. We're talking and he was like, I didn't know you worked here. And I was like, yeah, you know, like this is my second job and I'm just trying to pay off debt. You know, still seem like a super responsible person and try to save my image at work, you know, just in the slightest. And he was like, yeah, you know, I totally understand that. You know, he's kind of sloppy because he's drunk. Leans in and, you know, we're just kind of chit-chatting and people are coming up and I'm serving them, but he stays right there and we're just talking. I was like, well, now that I know that you work here, you get cool points in my book and just this fucking weird shit. And so I was like, all right, guy, like, thanks, dude. Thank you for thinking that I'm cool now. He starts leaning more and more on the bar. And he's leaning this way, so like half of his fucking body is over the bar. Are you like passing out? Are you like sleepy? The fuck is going on? Get off of my bar. And he said in the creepiest fucking voice you could possibly imagine,
you make me so happy every morning when you tell me good morning. You make me feel so special.
That's weird. You're weird. He was using one of those voices that men try to use to be seductive, and it caught me off guard. John, don't do this to me, John. Come on, John. Why you gotta do me like this? Why you gotta make me be a bitch to you? Like, why you gotta hit on me when you know that there ain't no fucking way? God damn it, John. Fuck. Now I have to create a boundary because he's testing it, okay? And when you work in this type of environment, you learn very quickly people's body language and what they're trying to convey to you without them saying it, so that you can protect yourself and make this boundary before anything happens. So it was up to me to make sure that he understood. I was like, well, I'm glad that, you know, I make you happy. That's my goal, is to make everyone in the office happy. And he just kind of straightened up and he was like, yeah, but I'm kind of thinking that you make me the happiest. Well, probably not, but I appreciate your compliments, John. Remember that we're co-workers, okay? And he was like, oh, yeah, no, no, I wouldn't forget that. And I was like, okay. He was like, no, totally professional. He was like, I'm sorry, did I make you feel weird? And I was like, no. You're fine. So I was like, okay, cool. We on the same page. That was easy. You know, he backed off. Cool. So then we went back to work. Not gonna lie, shit got real fucking awkward. Like more awkward than it was before, but a different type of awkward. Like a, oh my God, you know my secret kind of awkward. And oh my God, I know that you kind of fucking like me like that. It was kind of hard for me to look at him the same. Like every time I looked at him, I just saw that sloppy ass John trying to seduce me with his weird fucking voice. I tried to maintain my professionalism, and I was able to kind of treat him as an executive at work, and then when I went to the bar, treat him like John. So everything was cool. Things started getting a little fucking weird. I missed work at the bar for some family thing or something, and I wasn't there, and I took the night off, which I very rarely did. And the next day at work, so I wasn't there Thursday night, but I was at my job Friday morning. So Friday morning rolls around, I'm at my office and I'm saying good morning to everybody, and it was a delivery day for when I delivered and dispersed all of the office supplies that got ordered every Friday. So I had to deliver John his Diet Cokes that day. So I go in there as usual and I'm dropping off his Diet Cokes in his office, and he said, "Can you shut the door?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I went over there and I shut the door and I kind of sat down and I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Why weren't you at work last night?" "What?" And he was like, "I went to the bar last night. You weren't there. Why?" I don't... I was losing my shit on the inside. You don't ask me why I wasn't there. I was like, I don't think that that's an appropriate question. It's really none of your business where I was, and the fact that you noticed that I wasn't there is a little odd to me. As soon as I said that, he just kind of got like scared. The minute that executives think that they could be sued for any reason, back up, like real quick. So he was like, no, sorry. He was like, I wasn't like trying to watch you or anything. He was like, I just had a gift for you. And I was like, I don't think that's appropriate as well. And he was like, no, not like a gift. He was like, you'll see. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to work. And I had like this problem in front of me that I could have either reported him to HR and then quite possibly lose my job, because they're not gonna fucking lose an executive for an admin. That ain't ever gonna happen. So that's my job on the line. Or and talk with him tonight and make sure that he understands where we're at. Okay? So I decided on the latter. I'm gonna give him a moment and I'm gonna talk to his ass tonight and let him know I'm not fucking around. Like, don't be coming to me asking me why I'm not at work. So Friday night rolls around and I get ready and I'm at work at the bar, and sure enough, John shows up to the bar. And I have these two huge long ass lines on my side of the bar with me and Brittany. So I was like, please go to another bartender. Like, I kind of don't feel like facing you right now. Like, I just didn't even want to fucking deal with it because so much was on the line. I didn't want to fucking lose my job. Like, I felt like maybe if I just didn't talk to him anymore, maybe the problem would go away. Please go to another line. Please go to another line. He stood in that line, you guys. He stood there for over a half an hour to get to the bar so that he could talk to me. So like that right there, like just made me have the heebie-jeebies. So my friend Jeremy, who I also mentioned in the other video, I told him, he was standing by the bar and I was like, hey, can you watch this guy? He's just been showing up out of nowhere and like noticing when I'm not at work, and it's kind of freaking me out. So Jeremy was like, yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. Don't worry about it. So I knew I had Jeremy there just kind of scoping the whole situation out, so I felt safe. And he came up to the bar and he was like, hey, buddy. And I was like, hi, John. And I was kind of weirded out, to be honest. And I think he saw that on my face and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just think that you and I need to have a conversation about the type of friendship that we have. And he was like, oh yeah, how so? And I was like, I just feel like we do need to maintain a level of professionalism because we do work together in the office. And he was like, well, I don't know, because I didn't really talk to you at the office. I started talking to you here, and it's not a professional environment here. And I was like, no, I get that, but we still work together at this company, and I just think it would be best if we kept it professional. And just shut down immediately. It was like a switch clicked in his head where he went from super fun John back to his awkward, quiet ass, weird John. Okay. Just looked at me and he was like, I won't bother you anymore. And he walked away. I don't know if you've ever heard that from a guy, the words, I won't bother you anymore. It's usually because they're fucking pissed because you've let them down, and there's something about those words that freak me the fuck out because I'm just like, why do I not believe you? I feel like you're gonna bother me again. Jeremy walked me out to my car that night and every night for like the next 2 weeks because I was fucking scared. During those 2 weeks, I saw John in the bar, but as promised, he didn't come to my side of the bar and he went to someone else, and that was cool. Like, we were good. It got a little less awkward at work, and that was fine. 2 weeks went by, nothing had happened, and the way that it worked is that Jeremy had his own closing duties when we were closing the bar, and so I had to wait for him to be done so that he could walk me to my car. And sometimes I would cash out really quickly, so I wanted to fucking leave. And 2 weeks had passed, nothing happened, so I was like, I'm just gonna peace out. So I, cashed out and everything was good, packed up my shit, and was walking next door to the parking lot to get in my car, ready to leave. And Brittany had also cashed out early, so she and I were gonna leave together. So I felt like, cool, I'm not by myself. So we walk out there and, our stuff and our purses and stuff, and we're walking out, and I remember it being really cold outside because we were like bundled up and we were walking to our cars. And Brittany's a smoker, so she was smoking. And I saw this guy in the corner smoking as well, and I didn't think anything of it. And he had on a huge coat because it was cold outside. And he turned around and it was John. And John was waiting for me outside of the building 2 weeks after I had told him that we needed to have a professional relationship. So we hadn't really talked, except for, the normal good morning and shit at work. So why he was there freaked me the fuck out. Like, I don't know, I don't understand why he was there. He turned around and he said, "Hey, Nikki." And I was like, "Hi, John." And Brittany looked at him and looked at me. She whispered and she said, "I'm calling Jeremy." She was like pretending to be okay. Like, she was so fucking smart. Thank God for Brittany. Holy shit. Because I honestly think something bad would have happened to me if it weren't for her. She said, "Okay, girl, I'm going to go. Have a good night," and acted like she was going to leave. And so she walked past me, got on her phone, and called Jeremy. Okay? So during this time, I'm talking to John, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "I just wanted to talk to you really fast about something." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "There's just been something bothering me." He was like, "I don't understand why we can't be friends outside of work." And I was like, "Well," I said, "I just feel like you're in a really high place in the company, and I feel like it's inappropriate to have such a relaxed relationship with me being an admin at your company, I was like, I just don't want it to look bad on either one of us." And he was married, guys. So I was just like, "You're married. I'm practically married. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, why are you not understanding this?" I felt like he was getting agitated but not wanting to show me. And it was almost like a tick that he was having. Oh, fucking creepy. Ugh. It was like, "Well, I just feel like that should be a decision that we make together." And I was like, "I thought we were in agreement with that." And he said, "No, you in agreement with that." And I was like, holy shit, like, this guy is getting really pissed. And I was like, "John, honestly, I cannot be talking to you outside of work anymore. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't feel comfortable with it." And he was like, "Okay, well, then don't talk to me at all at work, and I don't want you delivering my Cokes." Now in hindsight, this is a funny ass fucking conversation. He was like, "I don't want you to be the one to deliver my Diet Cokes to my office anymore. I just feel like it would be inappropriate." So he was being a fucking asshole and like trying to fucking mock me. So I was like, bitch. At that very moment, Jeremy came outside. Now, Jeremy is a big fucking dude. And Jeremy came up behind him and said, "Can I help you?" Like, "No, I'm sorry." He was like, "I was just smoking." He said, "There's no loitering around here, sir. We're closed. You need to go." And he grabbed me by the arm and walked me to my car and like literally stared at John the whole fucking time. I did not feel comfortable continuing my job at that company because this happened. I felt like that was such a scary moment. I don't know what would have happened if Jeremy wasn't there or if Brittany wasn't there, if I had walked out there by myself. And at the end of the day, as women, we're constantly in those positions and we are constantly afraid to be by ourselves, and it just fucking sucks because, I mean, you can't even walk to your car in the middle of the night and feel safe because there are fucking creepy ass men that will wait for your ass and something bad could happen to you. So I didn't want to risk it anymore, and so I quit my job at the oil and gas company. And I went and worked for another place that actually paid me more money, so therefore I could quit my job at the bar as well. So I just kind of cut off all ties and made sure that he did not know my whereabouts or anything like that. I never saw him again, and that was by far one of the most creepy, scariest fucking moments of my life, where I really felt like something bad could happen to me. invest in some mace or something, girl, like a taser, something to get them asses, because you just never know. So yeah, so that was my story of a crazy stalker person, and my crazy encounter with a stalker coworker. And if any of you guys are experiencing this, please be safe out there. Don't be alone, and try to have someone with you at all times, because it's fucking scary, dude. So if you can't do that, get some pepper spray, get some mace, do something. Like, have some type of weapon on you. Be safe out there, guys. I love you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified of all of my new videos, especially story times. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and all of your support. I couldn't thank you guys enough, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.